is there no space for white people to work with black people as equals instead of black people feeling like they're supervised just because we're white? Because I feel like there is so much room for people to be equal in the space of leadership.
But you need to know, my sister, everything in this country is race. Everything, our problems in this country were started by race. Come on. Yeah.
Let's take the land and give it to our people. I say, I belong to the ANC. Who, according to the ANC in South Africa, is not our people?
If you are going to take the land, are you going to give it to Basotho, or are you going to give to which section of the population? Are you going to take the properties of the great-grandchildren of the Indian indentured laborers who came here? Whose properties are you going to take? Are you going to take the properties of the French Huguenots and German refugees who came here running away from religious wars in Europe?
Point of order.
Whose properties are you going to take?
What's your point of order?
Is it going to be the properties of the great-grandchildren of the slaves that came from Malay Peninsula and from the Philippines Islands? Whose properties are you going to take?
Please take your seat.
Please, you must let us know. If you are going to give this land, you said something, you are going to give the land to our people. Now, please tell us who is not our people in this country.
Point of order.
Who is our people? I must ask. Who is our people? Who is not our people?
Thank you. Thank you for the recognition, Chair. Hi, sir. I'm just coming to. I'm coming to. Okay, this is. It's a much shorter question. I'm coming to you as someone who identifies as a white female leader in a black-led environment, and I was just. Wondering if you could clarify the whole sort of, what did I say? The sort of like the supervision. Is there no space for white people to work with black people as equals instead of black people feeling like they're supervised just because we're white? Because I feel like there is so much room for people to be equal in the space of leadership.
Thank you for the questions.
Let me tell you, when you say men are trash, when you say men are trash, I'm so unaffected. I don't even care. I don't hear that. I mean, you're not talking about me. You are talking about trash men. When you say men rape, you're not talking about me. You're talking about rapists. When you say whites are racist, why are you touched in your studio if you are not a racist? Because we are not talking about you. If you are not a white supervisor, why do you want to tell us that you are not a white supervisor? We will know that. We will know that. No one has ever said white people have got no place in South Africa. We refuse white supervision. And they do it unwittingly, some of them, because they've been taught to think they are superior. It's some of them is in their DNA. He just finds herself or himself dominating you on subjects he knows nothing about, because they think their skin color permit them to dominate you. Never feel apologetic about white people who say, but why do you say we're racist? I'm not racist. I'm not talking about you. But you need to know, my sister, everything in this country is race. Everything, our problems in this country were started by race. Kamu. Yeah. Kamwa kaka. Yeah. Everything. Everything, yeah. When they came in 1652, they did not conquer the land. They conquered us, pushed us away from our own land. When they discovered the minerals, they removed us from potential ownership of the means of production. And they even legalized that by race, not by class. They never used the class to divide us. They used the race. So don't start with the issue of the race. When we speak as black people about how we despise racism, white liberals must keep quiet and listen to us. That's a problem Steve Biko had with these white liberals. When NUSAS had a conference here, they were sleeping in nice places and black people were sleeping in bad places, yet they claimed to be in the same organization. Why didn't those white liberals go and sleep with their comrades at the bad sleeping arrangement if they were indeed part of our struggle? So, until we've resolved the racial question, any other issue will never be resolved. Now that's my relationship with white people. When they walk in, I'm like, the war is starting now. Let me understand. When they speak, I listen twice. And once they want to do those things of white supremacists, I tell them, don't start with those things. Don't even try. So every racist everywhere where they raise their ugly head, they must be confronted. We must teach them to unlearn racism. The same way we are saying we are unlearning to become good people and not patriarchal men, they must also learn not to be racist. And they must accept. When you stand up here as women and start saying, you men, what? I'm not going to stand up and say, but what are you saying, man? Why are you painting us? I must hear your cry. This is a battle cry you are making. I must hear it. And I don't have to tell you I'm part of it. Through my own action, you should appreciate that there are men who are still good amongst these trash people. And that's what the white liberals must do. They ought to listen to our battle cry without seeking to remind us all the time that they are good. If they are good, will not know it by their mouth, will know it by their deeds. Thank you very much.
Suddenly you've got, the very popular thing. I think even my comrade president here referred to about land. There's established ANC policy, which is in the Freedom Charter. If you come to me to say, now let's still do something about the land, I'd say, bear in mind what we've said in that Freedom Charter for many decades. The land shall be shared among those who work it. That is a very well thought out position, strategic position with regard to solving a number of issues here. The national question, the land question, how do we handle it? No, somebody pops up. No. Let's take the land and give it to our people. So I say, I belong to the ANC. Who, according to the ANC in South Africa, is not our people? There's nobody who's not our people. That's ANC policy. Somebody else's policy might be very different. But that's why the ANC says this land shall be shared among those who work it. Black and white and whoever they are.
President, if you are going to take the land, are you going to give it to Basotho, or are you going to give it to which section of the population? Are you going to take the properties of the great-grandchildren of the Indian indentured laborers who came here? Whose properties are you going to take? Are you going to take the properties of the French Huguenots and German refugees who came here running away from religious wars in Europe?
Point of order.
Whose properties are you going to take?
What's your point of order?
Is it going to be the properties of the great-grandchildren of the slaves that came from Malay Peninsula and from the Philippines Islands? Whose properties are you going to take?
Please take your seat.
Please, you must let us know. If you are going to give this land, you said something, you are going to give the land to our people. Now, please tell us who is not our people in this country.
Point of order,
Who is our people?
Members,
I must ask. Who is our people? Who is not our people? The National Party used to say, others are Europeans, others are non-Europeans. No, who is our people? Who is non-our people? I want to know that. President, in that case, are you going to amend the Bill of Rights? Are you going to amend the Bill of Rights, Comrade President, so that South Africa must know that this Constitution is no longer relevant under your leadership? No. Are you going to take the Bill of Rights? Are you going to take our rights under the Bill of Rights? We really need to know that reply.
Deputy Speaker.
And we cannot not ask that question today.
Deputy Speaker.
We ask it and we want to know. Who is our people? Who is not our people? Who is? I'm not one of you. Well,
what are you raising on?
It's a matter that the president will answer.
Honorable Kota.
Who is not our people? Who is our people? This constitution says all of us are South Africans, and all of us have got the same rights. So, leave the howlers aside.
Deputy Speaker.
Who are you going to give the land to? You take it from whom, and to whom are you going to give it? We want to answer.
Take your seat. What are you raising, honorable members?
Comrade Terra, when you went to prison, Robben Island, you were a black consciousness. And when you came back, you became a historical mistake, which came out of Robben Island. It is extremely disappointing every time you open your mouth to speak here, that which you thought you represent, you have abandoned. You can't ask the question, who are your people? Because the National Democratic Revolution answers that question. It says the motive forces that stands to benefit from the victories of this revolution, those are our people. Who are the motive forces of the National Democratic Revolution, which you went to prison for? The motive forces of the National Democratic Revolution are the oppressed. Who are the oppressed? The blacks in general and Africans in particular. But consciousness, when it escapes you, it doesn't say goodbye. You are such a typical example of a person who has just lost his political consciousness. Because these teachings they should have taught you in Robben Island. But clearly, that university of life has dismally failed when it came to you. So it is actually extremely wrong of you to stand here and want to distort a history. All we are saying is that, as the EFF, let us subject the whole thing to consultation. We don't have a problem. We cannot come and meet here as a group of elite and take a decision on behalf of our people. Let it be referred to committees. Let our people be consulted. Let ordinary South Africans make input. We are not opposed to that. As long as this parliament agrees that indeed we are at one, but let us go and take a further mandate from our people.